Welcome back, travelers. It's been a hot minute. I got a coffee and I picked up a 4-pack of the cheapest beer that they had. I don't even know what it is. High gravity. 8.1 alcohol percent. Oof. Okay. Okay. Nothing gets a drunken master's juices flowing like a cheap beer. I've been banned for about 3 weeks. By the time I upload this, which is how long the war in Iran has been going on, the illegal war. I was banned for posting a video of the beliefs of a certain group of people. The only protected group of people. We'll just call them the Chosenites. I was banned once, and then after a week, I share a video on why I was banned, and I get banned 2 more weeks. Look, as an anarchist, and I explained in a previous video, anarchy is not chaos. Anarchy is without rulers, which means it involves respect and appropriate action. And when the owner of a business doesn't want you to come into their business, you respect that they don't want you in their business, and you leave and you don't go back. I used to think that because YouTube's data centers were in America, that they were beholden to American law. And having mentioned protected rights group, I thought the First Amendment would be a protected right under our law. It's not. And I know the owners of YouTube, not personally, but I know that they wear tiny hats. They like to wear bra pads on their head and molest walls. Now look, man, I'm no stranger to glory holes, but you know, dude, you're weird. You can call yourself chosen and superior all you want, but you're fucking weird. But they do own the media, and they do own entertainment, and they do own Congress, and they do own the president. Every president, by the way. Not just this one. So, as an anarchist, if you don't want me talking about you, Tiny Hat Mafia, if you don't want me teaching Goyim what you believe, Chosenites, okay, no problem. It's like the second tornado this week in my AO. I love it, man. I love this weather. I love the cool. I've got the window open. I love the cool air blowing in. I love the overcast. I don't like direct lighting, so overcast is my favorite weather. I am so sore. I've been every day training. Taking it slow, steady, sustainable pace, and just every day, and I am so sore and tight. Every morning I wake up, I spend like an hour stretching. I when I was younger and I trained, it was always to be the best at whatever I was doing. It was always, I dial it up to max and I let my body adapt and catch up. Lately, I've taken a different approach, and my main focus is my core and my lower body, my legs. My knees are shot from a lifetime of putting them through too much. I have a back injury from that flares up every year, every couple years. I had a parachuting accident. I had a parachute malfunction, and I fell about 60 feet approximately. Temporarily paralyzed me. Like when I landed like on my ass bone, and it felt like a lightning bolt shot up to the base of my neck, and I couldn't move for minutes. And then all of a sudden, I felt like warm water flow down my spine, and then I can move again. And so I just ignored it. I didn't even go, like I just ignored it. I got up, packed up my shit, and I was like, okay. But big mistake. Like a decade later, on a motorcycle, it flared up and I couldn't even support the weight of the motorcycle. Long story short, I ended up falling into a depression and drinking a lot and all this, and I gained a lot of weight, which only made it worse on my back. So the less I did with my back, the worse it got. And so now I'm in this place where I want to build up my legs and my core to support my back. And that's what I'm focusing on. Like a lot of guys focus on their looks, or they want to get big, or they want to get shredded. I've been shredded my whole life, and like it's not what I'm after. I just want to support my back, and I want to feel better, man. So that's what I've been doing. It's been really nice. I'm going to share some things about World War III. I'm going to share some things from like the intelligence directives when I was a contractor, so you get an idea of where we've been, how we got here, and where we're going. I want to talk about the military and what's going on with that in Iran. And then I'm going to end with explaining perception, mental framework, and metacognition, which will lead into certain Buddhist and Taoist concepts. First, current events. People have been saying for about a week now that Netanyahu is dead, and they don't, they're hiding it, and they're using AI with his videos. Okay. I'll celebrate when we figure that out for sure, but there's a lot of good points, such as them saying that it's unconfirmed, Israeli sources saying it's unconfirmed. Like, why not just say, no, it's wrong, here he is, right? And the videos that they show are not him. It's either AI or it's a double, but it's not him, clearly. So it's very suspicious. What's more suspicious is the son is a social media addict, like an addict. He posts about 30 to 40 times a day on average. And for the last 5 days, he has not posted anything. So that's another, unless him and his family, because we murdered Iranian leadership's family, right? So unless him and his family have been dropped down in a bunker for safety, there's a good chance that, something's going on. It's suspicious. But when you're dealing with the Chosenites, you gotta think about their motto, by deception we wage war. So, you know, I wouldn't celebrate yet. I mean, for being the cheapest beer, it actually tastes better than a lot of the other beers. We sunk an Iranian naval ship that was in exercises with India. It had no weapons on it. They were betrayed by India, allegedly. Then we sink them. Trump brags about it, that it's more fun to sink ships. Like, war is so fun when you're a draft dodger and you and your family don't have to be in it. War is a lot of fun. And they just had so much fun sinking that ship that when the sailors were, like 80 sailors were drowning, and they are, under international law, required to save those sailors, they let them all drown. That's a war crime. ICC, don't see me. That's a war crime. Even the Nazis rescued sailors drowning, their enemies drowning in the ocean. Like, there's record of them saving them. The Russians did the same thing in the Vietnam War. I mean, dude. You're gonna be doing some awesome mental gymnastics to be the good guy right now. One of the first targets we bombed in Iran was a schoolhouse with 160 plus little girls dead. And as a response, this administration has come out saying that we have intelligence that there are targets underneath schools and hospitals, under civilian infrastructure. There probably is, but that's still a war crime. Like, you understand that? You're going right out of Israel's playbook for warfare, and that's still a war crime. Okay? You targeted civilians, and it was a Tomahawk. And there's only a couple places that have Tomahawk missiles, none of which were firing them. Tomahawk platforms that were firing them. You know, not only America. It was fired by a Tomahawk missile platform, which is specific. You have to have that. But they are precise. This was not an accident. It was not an error. It was not bad intelligence. This was precise. This was intentional. This was a war crime. Now, I haven't figured out yet whether that was AI. Not AI as in fake. AI as in right before the war kicked off, the Pentagon or the Defense Department signed a contract with the techno oligarchs, and they gave a lot of control to AI. So I don't know if Skynet did this because this was the target. Like, they put in, like, hey, hit a target that will get the Iranians worked up and definitely get Americans, like, behind this or something. You know, I don't know what they did, but somebody gave an order that they wanted this done. Now, if it was a human being, to me, that's unthinkable. But it's not. When you look at the people, you look at a certain class of chosenites and their chosen useful idiots that have been bought and paid for It's not unthinkable. I would like to think that this was AI, that they gave control to Skynet and just put in a general order, like hit a target that's really gonna kick the hornet's nest. And they chose a fucking girls' school. Whatever the case may be, this is a war crime. They're sending in 31st MEU Marine Expeditionary Unit. It's a self-contained force of Marine infantry. They're always deployed to Okinawa to be in that region, and they're deploying them to the island of, is it Karga? Is that how you pronounce it? Which would be a strategic move, but what it really is in reality is a sacrifice. It's a human sacrifice. Psychologically, they think they're going to follow the game plan from 9/11 in 2003 with the war to Iraq, where once you get some casualties going, America will get behind the war. But this is 2026, and people are not getting behind this war, no matter how many Americans die. Initially, it was like 4 dead. Now there were 6 airmen killed. I've heard reports that there are hundreds of American casualties in Landstuhl Hospital in Germany. I've been to Landstuhl, and when you go to Landstuhl, you're not coming back to that deployment. You may not be coming back to service. Like, you're fucked up. That isn't a medic tent. You're being shipped across the world because you're fucked up. So even though they're hiding the information and the numbers on the casualties in this war, there are a lot of casualties in this war already. America's not getting behind it. I've seen videos, not just videos, but like people are planning to go to prison rather than be drafted into this war. They don't want to fight for the Chosenites, okay? They won't. They'll do 5 years in prison rather than fight for the Chosenites, okay? This is not 2003. This is 2026, and everybody knows what's up. So really what this Marine Expeditionary Unit is a human sacrifice. And with it, they're going to have support from the 82nd Airborne as a quick reaction force. And I want to say they might send the Rangers, but they're not. The Rangers only work with SOCOM, Special Operations Command. The 82nd Airborne will be the quick reaction force for the MEU, the Marine Expeditionary Unit. So this is just a shame. And if you're in the service, I would say rethink what you're doing, man. Meditate on the Nuremberg trials, because following orders is not a legal excuse for war crime. Like, you will be held accountable. If you need to get out because you're pregnant, you need to get out because you failure to adapt if you're in the first year of your service, whatever the fuck you gotta do, bro. You know, make a legal case that you refuse to follow unlawful orders and this is an unlawful war. Like, every conflict we've been in since fucking the Korean War was, I think, the last legit war, I think. Everything since Vietnam has been absolutely illegal that America's done. So whatever you gotta do, man. Because I'm gonna tell you, 22 a day is a real thing. 22 veterans commit suicide a day in America. And that's what's ahead of you. You're sacrificing your soul for the Chosenites, and your conscience is gonna suffer. And take my word for it, man, that's a long, dark road with a lot of demons. And the military's going to try to shame you. Your unit's going to try to shame you for getting out of it. Just like a pack of monkeys, they're going to shit in their hand and they're going to throw it at you. They're going to try to shame you into staying and being, you know, in the shit with them. Take that shame and walk, man. Like, don't let your ego kill your conscience. You will lose your soul and eventually you will take your life. Don't go down that road. Last thing I want to talk about is your perception. I didn't come up with this saying. I learned it from a guy I was in a special operations preparatory course with. And this guy was a machine, man. But he said, there's a phrase he used to use, and I don't know where he got it from, but it was a phrase he used to use. Like, I hate to shatter your champagne glass of reality. And it always stuck with me. And, you know, there's a lot of truth to that, because your perception, when you take information into your brain, this information is being processed through a glass house that you built. That glass house that you built is identities that you associate yourself with. I'm a soldier, I'm a veteran, I'm a Marine, I'm a war hero, man. I got PTSD. I got a PhD, dude. I'm an MD. Oh, I'm a mama bear. You know, it's all these identities that you associate yourself with. When information enters your mind, it comes through this glass house that you built. And it's built off what you identify as. It's built off your experiences. It's built off of flawed memories you have. And I say flawed because all memory is flawed. My question, real quick to you, is, are you your thoughts? Or are you the person thinking about your thoughts? You know, this goes back to the Taoist proverb, or I'm sorry, the Buddhist proverb of, if a tree falls in a forest and there's no one there to hear it, did it actually happen? You are not your thoughts. That is all a lens that you've constructed in which to interpret information that you are receiving. But you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. There's a thing called metacognition. Metacognition can be defined as thinking about your thoughts. You are the one thinking about your thoughts. They are not you. You know, and it goes along with the Western concept of ego. Ego would be that glass house you built. So I would encourage everybody, as you're taking in this information, the psyops are going to continue. The false flags are coming. They're already here, but they're going to happen. The propaganda is going to intensify. Okay. You know, if you were around as an adult after 9/11, man, you're either on our side or you're on the enemy's side. Like, you sympathize with the terrorists? Like, the propaganda is going to intensify, And as it's entering your mind, you're going to have to just stop and think about your thoughts for a minute and put that ego, shatter that champagne glass of reality, shatter that glass house that you built for yourself. That you're some veteran or you're some fucking hero or you're this or you're that. Shatter it. And think. Because the war is up here. This is where the war is. It's not on the ground. It's not in Iran. It's here. This is where the war is. And you can stop a lifetime of suffering for yourself. And you can stop a lifetime of pain and suffering for others that you will cause if you actually believe you are that glass house. But you are not. That glass house will fall when you are dead. You are not the glass house. And you need to recognize that before you walk into an existence of hell, because that's where we're heading. Next time, travelers.